Hi guys, my name is Damari McDonald with DTR Productions, and today we have Dennis Glason and Keyvionte Brooks. So guys, tell me about yourselves.
All right. My name is Dennis Glason. I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. I am part of the Pine Bluff Fire Department here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Something about me, just a person who was always looking for that love and that secure circle, and being a part of the fire department has brought me that. But also, I'm a motivational speaker, so one of my biggest passions is speaking and encouraging others. No matter the age range, I just want to see everyone in a position of happiness.
Mr. Brooks.
My name is Keyvionte Brooks, and I also am a part of the Pine Bluff Fire Department. But I got my name and face in a lot of different hats. I also work at Easy, also work at the church, and just my whole thing is service and just being a part of the community, taking care of people. That's what my passion been since I was a kid. And just overall, another thing about me would be like fitness, or once again, helping people, helping the community take care of themselves, and just showing my face and showing that it's possible, especially as a young man myself.
Okay. Today we are going to discuss men's mental health. All right. So the first question I have for you guys: how do you guys view mental health as a whole? Men's mental health as a whole.
The way I view men's mental health is, number one, is very much important. It's became even more important since I've gotten older. But growing up, it wasn't viewed as much. We were always taught as men to honestly not have feelings about anything, or not allow things to sit on our mind. And people say they're there for you. You can call and reach out to them, but most of the time it's just, hey, you got to take care of X, Y, and Z. You got family to take care of, so you got to hold the fort down. When you cry, go to your room. So it's a lot of spaces that are unclear when it comes to men's mental health and unanswered questions for men.
Mr. Brooks.
On that note, I feel that because especially growing up, we was taught just to be tough and just to handle things just quiet to ourselves. And so as a growing adult and man in my own right, especially becoming a recent father, it's just I got a lot of different places that I gotta handle business, make sure I'm doing my thing. So overall, I view men's mental health as something very important. I gotta make sure I'm okay so I can handle everything throughout my day.
Okay, so as men, like what emotions do y'all hide the most and why?
I would
What would
say,
you say?
yeah, I would say, shoot, when I'm sad, I say like sadness and stuff like that, or like when I'm grieving or going through something, I ain't really gonna open my mouth about it. And I say that's about it. The other ones pretty much get showed easily. Happiness, and sometimes we use that as the best cover up.
Yep.
And anger, that's probably the one we probably show the best.
Man.
And so, yeah, that's. But sadness would probably be the one that I probably hide the most.
For me, it's kind of what he said. It's probably more the sadness or the stress. That's probably one that I hide the most, because especially when you're holding down a household, like me being married, but also having children of my own, you are always looked at as the problem solver. You're always looked at as the one to handle business. So most of the time, and people may not believe me when I say it, you don't really have time to sit there and speak on your emotions and how you feel, because day after day, the world is coming at you constantly, and these problems have to be handled. They're counting on you. They're not looking to hear oh, I don't know, or I can't do it, or I'm just having a bad day. A day off is like a dollar loss. A day off is like a problem not getting solved. So that's probably one of the biggest emotions that I hide the most for myself.
Okay, speaking of emotions, so as black men as a whole, you know that we, from a day-to-day basis, we do have stress up on our table, because it's pretty hard for us to even excel in certain things in our life. So vulnerability, as far as vulnerability with your coworkers, your love life, or just people that you love, do you feel like being too vulnerable makes you weak as a man?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. It does. Because it's almost kind of how we all have a wall that we want to uphold, and the more vulnerable you become, the more that wall comes down. And once it does, These things can be used as attack weapons. People get in situations where their feelings are very hurt and you've told them something that meant more to you and you confided in them, and they're about to use it because they know it'll chop the legs off anything you feel. And so it brings you down to a new level of not only disappointment, disloyalty, but I mean, you have no leg to stand on after that.
Yeah, I kind of agree to a point on that one. I would say definitely keep a wall with some people.
Yeah.
Because, like, say we work at the fire department. And all honesty, like, them guys cool, but they ain't, we ain't telling, like, life stories. As men, we know for a fact, we can be honest about that, we not telling every detail. We not. Like, the lady and whatever, like, the old lady that we got, we probably can be a little bit more vulnerable with them, so like that, maybe parent, friend, whatever, or like close coworker. But as far as like vulnerability, as I got older, I feel like that's something that I'm becoming more and more accustomed to than just holding it in.
Okay, so as far as far as y'all being fathers and stuff, how do you want your child to be more vulnerable by your actions? Like, do you feel like, okay, because as a man, we have to be the change in every aspect in our lives for things to be smooth or whatever. So as far as your children, for them to be more vulnerable and them to actually speak up for themselves, what do you think you need to do to better that connection as far as them?
Yeah, I got it. I feel like be that example. My son just 4 months, but I've been in a habit over the past couple of years exemplifying or practicing just being more vulnerable. I ain't never been like the best speaker or whatever, so I just been practicing more and more, trying to articulate and show how I'm really feeling towards things, especially if it's something like that I really don't like. We don't brush that off, be passive about it, trying to be more attentive with my issues and stuff like that. So I would say be that example, teach them how to present properly and effectively, and then show them that it really worked.
Well, for me, I do agree with what he's saying. And also with my sons, I have 2 sons. One's 11, the other 6. I try to always keep an open door with them of trust, but not only that, if something has hurt their feelings, by all means, let's talk about it. Or if it hurts your feelings enough, cry it out. We're not about to whine about it, but definitely cry it out, because the thing is, it's like clay. The moment you tell them to suck it up and mask their emotions, you're doing nothing but polishing them into a bundle of anger. That's all you're doing. It's just like pottery. You design these children however you want. You can master them however you want. Do whatever you want with them. So the moment you tell him, hey, it's not even that serious, suck it up, at this point, you're continuously closing the door day by day, year by year, for them to ever be open or vulnerable in any part of their life, which causes certain things to happen, from anger to disrespect to anything that could lead to a negative road. So,
Okay, so on that note, how do you guys personally deal with stress or being in a hostile environment?
I take a deep breath, but I also try to more so understand what's going on first before I react to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, more so try to evaluate the situation, because a lot of times these are very much impulsive actions that we take. So if you slow down and just kind of think about it, I think your result can be a lot better.
I'm trying to think. Okay. For hostile situations, I don't know. I can be passive. I can be passive. So yeah, like you were saying, like, think it out before I react. Because, we tend to be, especially as black men, we tend to be labeled as like the aggressor, or
All the time.
you feel me? It's just like, so if I was to react, I'm definitely about to get labeled as an aggressor. Then I ain't got time for that. Even if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Cause like, nah. But so take it slow. Learn to keep a level head. Think the process out. And overall stress, how I handle overall stress, shoot, I might take a walk, My biggest thing is prayer. Hey, if you ain't praying, you trip. You gotta get right with God and lock in for real, for real. But other than that, yeah.
So do you feel like y'all on a personal level, even with each other, do y'all feel like y'all can talk to each other when y'all in a non-vulnerable state of mind and or being really just a mental shutdown mode? Do you guys have like someone y'all can talk to?
I think so. I mean, it cuz out. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now, this actually family though.
Yeah.
But so, like between us, like, yeah.
Okay. So as far as like emotional support from far as family or friends, do y'all feel like y'all have that personally?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Since honestly, it's crazy. It may have been there all along, but since becoming a fireman, I think the emotional support from my family has grown. Honestly, you know, I'm always able to call who I need. I'm always able to talk these things out. And they've just been open ears for me, shoulders I could cry on at times. I'm not afraid to admit it. You know, as black men, we want to go in the closet and mask these emotions, but they've allowed me to do that. And it's definitely, you know, opened my heart a little more and allowed me to do what I need to do and continue on with my career.
Okay.
I can pretty much second that.
So like, do you feel like people should understand you more on your mental note rather than your physical note as a man?
Oh man, that's a good one.
Especially, let me be more direct. Do you feel like women should be able to understand men more mentally rather than physically?
I feel baited, but I honestly, that's a touchy question. That's like a touch and go question because I do, but then again, you can't expect a woman to feel what a man feel and a man feel what a woman feel on probably any level, because at the end of the day, I don't care if that woman thinks she's lived a man's life. You are still a woman who has done womanly things. I'm still a man who is doing or have done manly things. And I just feel like it would just never be there. And that's just my honest opinion.
Man, I'm trying to think how to answer that. For real, I'm trying to.
I'm trying to think y'all think outside the box.
Yeah,
I like
feel
that. Nah,
So
that's what
you
it's-
know what? Nah, just playing. To
careful.
all my ladies watching this,
Oh, man.
I don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing. Ain't got nothing really offensive to say. I would just say be more understanding. Like we should be more understanding towards each other.
Yeah.
As you know, man and woman. Like we both got different roles. She got set of roles. We got set of roles.
Yeah.
And you know, we tend to have to be more on the understanding side due to women being the weaker vessel. So us as being the more dominant vessel, stronger vessel, we have to have that same reciprocation of understanding. I feel like it should be. Especially if we handling most of the stuff, taking the heavy stuff that they know they don't want to do. Hey, look after your mans. Hey, so
Okay, y'all heard that, ladies. Look after your man. So, all right, here's another question I have for you guys. So, as far as being depressed or, like I said earlier, having a mental breakdown, what do you think are the key ways to overcome that individually?
off root, my number one, definitely gain a relationship with God. That's my number one go-to. 2, take care of yourself. Health is like my number one thing. Like if you look better, if you look good, feel good, you just feel better. You do better. You know, might be able to act in the world better, and just them my 2 things for real. Them my 2.
What about you, Dennis?
Just like my cousin said, just get that relationship with God first. When you align with him, a lot of things can be made better. Everything, honestly. And pick you first. I get it. We all may have families or we have these loads of responsibilities, but there is some point you must put you first. Find you a hobby or something, or find something that can kind of get you away from the reality of life just for a bit, because we all need that. And then on top of that, I don't care how many people try to push it off, a support system is so important. This is life, y'all. This is life. Things are going to happen. I don't care how motivated you are for 2 weeks. Things happen. Find you a support system, get right with God, and find you a hobby. Find you something to do that allows you to take that deep breath. And once you breathe in and breathe it out, that's all the negativity, the weight on your shoulders, everything going away. And be confident in what you're doing.
Okay. So, far as being confident as a man, as a black man at that, we tend to let our confidence mix in with our pride and ego when it comes to mental health. So we try, like y'all said earlier, just really just isolate ourselves or brush things off. So what can you tell the men out here to do as far as your pride and your confidence and your ego versus your mental health?
Hold on.
I believe the biggest word of advice is, for me, never get too prideful and do not allow your ego to make decisions for you. Confidence is very much okay. If anything, I'm going to continuously encourage confidence, but your pride and ego can put you in certain positions in life, and sometimes good, but probably mostly bad. We have people that are dead in jail off pride and ego, trying to make a point, trying to prove a point. Oh, I'm a man at the end of the day, so I got to stand for mine. Being a man sometimes is walking away and going home and being able to hug your family and tell them you love them. Being a man is being able to solve a problem without it becoming physical. Being a man is being able to know that, hey, I'm not in the best capacity to even handle this, and just move away from it. So that's one of my biggest things of advice when it comes to confidence, egos, and pride. Just don't let it put you in a position that you can't come back from, because you need to be there the next day for your family and yourself.
Insane. I like that note of like knowing when to walk away or think about like your family or the people around you before you do something. Because pride, I think of pride as like you just thinking about yourself. When pride and ego get all bold and big, it's you thinking about yourself only. And I always tell people, and I was also taught as a young age, is strength in being humble. Humble is not the absence of confidence. Humble is not making yourself little. It's just, can I be calm enough? Can I think about other people more than myself enough to do the right thing? And I definitely, humble is strength in being humble.
Well, being humble does like clear away most of our stress as black men, and I definitely felt you on that. Okay, so my next question is, how does healing look for you after dealing with a certain situation or trauma?
Boy.
For me personally, after like dealing with something, I would say take that time away to like reset. Like I'll take an off day. I'll, go off, won't do anything, like none of my duties I normally have. I will ask, like, having a lady and stuff, kind of got to make sure you can take that time, because, you still got responsibility at the end of the day. But be like, at least like, hey, can I get a day or two? Feel me? That's just respect for your lady at the end of the day. Yeah. And they, get that day or two to reset. And that reset may look like anything. Like I like to take trips. I like to travel. Or I may just like to just draw and paint. I love drawing and painting. So I might do that all day just to escape and come back refreshed and ready to continue.
Okay. So as far as like your family members and stuff, do you feel like other black men in your family, are they emotionally stable? because I feel like the environment that you place yourself in, you are what you surround yourself by. So do you feel like your family, your friends, your environment is mentally stable?
To some extent, I say yes and no, because don't get me wrong, you have great friends and family that are around you, circled around you, and people are very good at masking their emotions, so you just don't know at times unless you just openly ask them, are they okay, and everything, how's their mental. So it's just certain things you won't even know until a situation presents itself, and then I think you'll definitely get your answer on their mental and how they feel and where they at in life.
Okay. Okay. So my next question, guys, is what patterns of emotional silence or pain do you want to break in with your family or community? So basically, as men, we tend to silence ourselves, right? So what are some things that you want to do personally to break that silence and for your family or your friends or even your community?
I would say create environments to where we don't have to be silent. That'd be like my main thing. Like get us together more. Like we tend to, oh, I'm going through this. I can't be around so and so because I'm going through something. In reality, you need to be surrounded by your boys if you going through something. So I would say create environments for us to release and just be ourselves.
Yeah, and I definitely feel the same way. You should always try to create what we call in life and at the fire department a safe space. Y'all have to be able to hang out and just speak amongst each other and know that, hey, I'm letting out everything I feel. I'm breaking my silence to you, and that person does their best to understand where you're coming from, and it'll give that relief off your shoulders. You won't feel like you have to be so silent with everyone.
Okay. So my next question is, what would you tell your younger self that's asking for mental help?
That one right there, man, that's one of those that hits deep. But I would definitely tell my younger self, when it comes to mental health, just know you are loved. No matter how you feel, no matter how suppressed you feel lonely, you are loved. There are people who are more than willing to help you, more than willing to stick with you day by day and help you work through these things. You do not have to feel like you need to cry alone or be by yourself, because that is what creates the monster that comes out of you.
I kind of tell my younger self the same thing. Probably just like that you loved, and that you've always had. The people that you see now and the people that you recognize now was the same people you had back then, and they've only gotten better over time with their habits and stuff. So it just look outwardly more than inwardly, and then you will see like it's people around you.
All right. So the last question I have for you guys, individually, how can we uplift and protect each other's mental health as men/black men?
Individually, I say we kind of, I don't know, like, okay, speaking from standpoint, like my pops, for example, and he's gotten better with this over time, but that outward reach, like we kind of timid on that, like sticking our hand out, like we ain't trying to stick our hand out for real, be like, we'll peep that something going on and be like, I want to ask, but I'm not gonna ask. He'll get by. So whenever he come back to, you check on the person when they straight, but you don't check on them when they going through it. So I would say gaining that extra willpower to stick your hand out. That's we can start there. That's the very base. We can start there.
So actually asking,
Yeah.
checking
When you first see it, go and say something.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the person good, or don't wait till I'm good. Cause then now I don't need you. And now when something else pop up, I'm not gonna come to you. So that initial handout, perfect.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he said, you got to be willing to extend your hand. We got it so bad with clearly seeing this in plain sight and saying, "Oh, if I made it through, he can too." It's no. We have got to start reaching out, asking. A simple question will take you so far. Everybody thinks they have to wait for that person to crash out. No, you see it. You know that person enough, or even if you don't, you know certain things that they do that they aren't doing no more, or they're shying away from it, or they're not trying to be a part of it. To me, those are signals. Those are flashing lights telling you need to ask them. You need to reach your hand out and ask them, how are they today?
Yeah.
You may get more out of them than you expected.
And for today, guys, I think we'll just wrap this up. I'd like to thank you guys for coming and allowing us to interview you. And hopefully people tune in and get the insight on men's mental health. Catch you on the next episode with DTR.